People usually think break-ins happen to someone else. Someone careless. Someone who ignores basic safety. Someone who lives in a rough area. I used to think that too. I believed that if you locked your doors, minded your business, and lived in a quiet neighborhood, nothing serious would ever happen. I was wrong. My name is Daniel Harris. I'm 40 years old. And I live in a small house on the edge of a quiet neighborhood in Oregon. It's the kind of place where neighbors wave when they pass by, kids ride bikes during the day. And nothing ever makes the local news. Cars move slowly down the street. Nights are calm. Predictable. That night was supposed to be no different. My wife, Laura Harris, was out of town visiting her sister for a few days. I had the house to myself, something I was used to. I followed my usual routine. I cooked dinner, cleaned up, checked the doors and windows, and turned off most of the lights. Around 10:30 p.m., I sat in the living room watching television with the volume low, scrolling through my phone between commercials. The house felt quiet in the normal way. No strange sounds. No reason to be alert. Then I heard a noise from the back of the house. At first, I didn't react. Houses make sounds. Pipes shift. Wind moves branches. I told myself it was nothing. A few seconds passed, and then I heard it again. Metal scraping against metal. Slow. Controlled. Not accidental. I muted the television and stood up. The sound was coming from the kitchen door. I stayed still and listened. My heart rate picked up, but I didn't panic. I wanted to be sure of what I was hearing. Then there was a dull thud, followed by a soft crack. The sound of the door opening wasn't loud, but it was unmistakable. Someone was inside the house. I moved quietly into the hallway and looked toward the kitchen. The lights were off, but I could see movement. Shadows shifting near the counter. Then I heard another voice, low, quick. There were at least 2 people. That's when I stopped trying to see more. I walked back to the bedroom, locked the door, and turned off the light. I stayed low and grabbed my phone from the nightstand. My hands were steady, but I didn't waste time. I called 911 and whispered my address. The dispatcher stayed calm and told me to stay where I was. While I was on the phone, I could hear drawers opening, cabinets sliding, footsteps moving in and out of the kitchen. They weren't rushing. They thought the house was empty. Then the footsteps came closer. One of the men tried the bedroom door. It didn't open. There was a pause. Then a light knock, almost polite, like he was checking if the door was locked. A second later, he kicked it. The door shook, but the lock held. I didn't speak. I didn't move. I stayed on the line, breathing slowly. The dispatcher kept talking quietly, reminding me help was on the way. The men argued in low voices just outside the door. One of them said it wasn't worth it. The other wanted to check the rest of the house. They went back and forth for a moment. Then I heard them moving away. The sound of the kitchen door opening again. Footsteps outside. Silence. The police arrived a few minutes later. They searched the house room by room. The kitchen door was damaged. Several drawers were open. Cabinets had been searched. Nothing valuable was taken. The officers told me it was likely a quick attempt. Robbers who expected an empty house and left once they realized someone was inside. After they left, the house didn't feel the same. The next day, I replaced the damaged lock, installed brighter exterior lights, and added security cameras. I reinforced the doors and made sure every window was secured. I didn't rush any of it. I did it carefully. Laura came home that evening. We sat at the kitchen table and talked through everything. What happened? What we missed? What we needed to change? We didn't argue. We didn't panic. We adjusted. Nothing dramatic came after that. No confrontation. No follow-up incident. No sudden ending. Just a quiet house again. And this time, it stayed that way. The lesson is, safety isn't about where you live or how quiet your neighborhood seems. It's about awareness, preparation, and how quickly you respond when something feels wrong. Trusting your instincts, staying calm under pressure, and having a plan can make the difference between a close call and a tragedy. Quiet places aren't always safe, but being alert can be. Stories like this don't always end with sirens or dramatic confrontations. Sometimes, they end with lessons that stay with you long after the danger is gone. If this story made you think differently about safety or awareness at home, take that feeling seriously. It matters. Thank you for listening. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Your support helps more real stories reach the people who need to hear them. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next story.